Hi, I'm Nico Masteritis, and this is my content curation presentation for social media literacy at YSU. And to kick things off, I want to use a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. He said, and I quote, "Speech is power, speech is to persuade, to convert, to compel," end quote. And it's because I agree with Emerson that it doesn't matter if you're living in the Transcendental era, the New England Renaissance era, or the modern era utilizing technology to better convey your message. It ultimately comes down to communication and the base concept of what communication is designed to do: to persuade, to convert, to compel. And that leads me into my topic for today in this presentation, which is how to use opinions, facts, statistics, and examples in a speech to better persuade, to compel, and to convert. I picked this topic because of my passion for debate. Over the past 7, almost 8 years, I have been involved with various forms of debate, as well as even the past 3 years being a debate coach for Howland High School. I have been involved with Lincoln Douglas debate, public forum debate, congressional debate, Model United Nations, Ethics Bowl, and currently I'm in moot court. So the end goal is to be an attorney, and if there's one thing I'm passionate about, it's designing arguments and just being able to persuade and just give a message. And there's no better way to doing that than understanding how to better utilize facts, statistics, opinions, and examples all in a speech. So that brings me to the main components of this presentation. The first one is going to be the functions and teachings of my website. Next, I'm going to go over my successes, failures, and tips. And then I'm going to go into what I'm going to better do in the future. So first, let's go into the functions of my website. So the first thing I did within my website was I defined what a fact, what a stat, what a example, and what an opinion was. I went through Merriam-Webster dictionary, I defined them, and I explained each in how they're all important in their own way and how to utilize them better. The next portion of my website used a variety of videos talking about how you can better integrate all of those into your speaking, as well as just your speeches and arguments as a whole. So I used a variety of speech coaches across the internet, and then I even have an example of former Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg kind of talking in an interview, and you could kind of hear all of those components combined in there. The other videos that I had selected talked about presentational speaking as a whole, and it just referred to voice, your tone of your voice, structuring your speech's purpose, as well as using proper support. All of those components were in there. The third portion I'm going to refer to as the miscellaneous items, because I used a quiz that determined if you knew fact from opinion from Pew Research Center, and an interview from Professor Dr. Dorian Murmer at YSU, who's a senior lecturer who knows a ton about all of these, and she kind of gives her input on integrating all of these in your speaking as well. So now that you know the applications of my website, I'm going to go into the successes, the ultimate failures, and tips and techniques. So first, let's go into successes. My first success was being able to get everything to function. So I'm not exactly the most technologically savvy person, but I was very proud I was able to get everything to function and look somewhat aesthetically pleasing. And the most important thing was that I was able to express myself, and I think the best way, through my website, so I was pretty happy with that. But where I failed was I could have definitely been a lot more organized. I tend to jump around from idea to a different idea, and if I would have structured it a lot better, then I think things would have been a lot more organized. And I probably also could have promoted a lot more, because if I would have promoted a lot more, I would have gotten a lot more page views, but we'll get more into that in a little bit. And then a couple of just tips and tricks. Promotion and organization. Like, if you're going to get your page numbers up, because my page number was around 400 views, if you're going to get it up, you need to promote and you need to better organize everything that's going on, because that's how you really hone in on readers' attentions. So next, the third area of my speech, which is future ideas. Again, I'm going to go for a future idea, if I'm going to do something reiterating this website or involving law, I'm going to be better organized. So the end goal of that is to just starting with an idea, sitting down, really drawing out a roadmap and see what sticks and see what's the best design that really works out for it. And I need to be more consistent with my posting, because if I'm more consistent with posting, then people are more likely to stay, and if people are more likely to stay, your viewer numbers are going to go up and the time on the website's going to go up. And without promotion and without organization, your website, I don't think, could really thrive. So if I'm not being consistent with my frequent posts, if I'm not promoting and I'm not being well organized, then ultimately a website isn't going to work. So those are the best 3 things I'm personally going to work on going into the future. But we need to remember what Ralph Waldo Emerson originally said. Speech is power, speech is to persuade, to convert, and to compel. And it's because of this, I used my topic of using opinions, facts, statistics, and examples to better further my understanding of communicating with others, and hopefully taught other people how to better utilize these in order to better persuade, convert, and compel. And for this presentation, I went over the initial purpose of my website. I went over the functions of the website. I went over the successes, the failures, and tips and tricks, and ultimately what I'm going to do in the future. But again, that's not necessarily going to matter if you don't learn how to communicate in the best way possible. Speech is power, speech is to persuade, to convert, and to compel. It doesn't matter what era you're living in, because ultimately, if you're going to do either or any of these, you need to use opinions, facts, statistics, and examples, and you're speaking wisely, because those are what are going to make all the difference. Thank you.